Linear momentum of system of particles. Let us consider the particles n particles having masses m1, m2, m3, so on mn, and v1, v2, v3, so on vn with their respective velocities. Let p1 is equal to m1 v1 is the momentum of the first particle. p2 is equal to m2 v2 is the momentum of second particle, and so on. Pn is equal to mn vn is the momentum of nth particle. Then total momentum of the system is P is equal to m1 v1 plus m2 v2 plus so on mn vn. Now if capital M is the mass of the center of mass of the body and v is the velocity of center of mass of the body, the net momentum P is equal to m into v. So in that case we can write mv is equal to m1 v1 plus m2 v2 plus so on mn vn, right? Or we can say that if we differentiate both sides, in that case dp by dt is equal to m1, which is equal to m capital M dv, which is equal to dv by dt is equal to this is m1 dv1 by dt plus m2 dv2 by dt plus so on mn dvn by dt. So in that case we can say dp by dt is equal to F external, as we have already done these steps previously, right? So this shows that Newton's second law of motion is fully satisfied. Now in case of an isolated system, if external force is 0, that is F external is equal to 0, in that case dp by dt is equal to 0 or P is equal to constant. mv is equal to constant, or we can say velocity is constant. It means if in an isolated system external force is 0, in that case the body will move with constant velocity. There will be no change in the velocity. The body will not be in accelerated motion. So this is how we can discuss about the linear momentum of the n particle system. Our next topic is angular velocity and their relation with the linear velocity. We know that whenever a rigid body is rotating about its own axis, in that case every particle is having different radii of rotation. Okay, that we are having 3 particles having radii r1, r2, r3, but each radii on rotating completes the circular path in the same time. So let us assume a single particle which is rotating like this. Let this point represent the axis of rotation in this manner, like this, in the direction of either inward or outward. Now let us consider the particles is rotating anti-clockwise, and let this is the position P, this is the position O. Let at any time dt it reaches the position P dash, making an angle d theta. Okay, so this is the arc having length pp dash arc. Okay, and this is the radius r of the particle from its axis of rotation. So in that case we can say that arc is equal to angular velocity omega is given by angular displacement, which is d theta by dt, and it is measured in radian per second. Okay, and we also know that angular velocity for each particle in case of a rotational motion is same value as angle traversed by each particle is same, as we have already discussed, right? Now let us find out the relation between the linear velocity and angular velocity. Now in this triangle OPP dash, we know that the angle d theta is equal to arc upon radius. Now what is arc here? This is PP dash, and what is radius? This is r. So PP dash is equal to r into d theta. Now if we derivate both sides, this will become d by dt of p dash, and this is r d theta by dt. Now what is this p dash? This is the length of the linear length which is traversed by the particle in time dt. So we can represent this as L, d by dt of L, suppose, right? And this is r d theta by dt. Now what is dl by dt? This is velocity, linear velocity r, and this is angular velocity omega. So v is equal to r omega. This is the relation between linear velocity and angular velocity, and as I already discussed in the previous topic, that since r is different for each particle in a body, so linear velocity will be different, and since angle is same as traversed by every particle of the body, so its angular velocity will be same. Now in case of body which is rotating about its own axis, let us now find out the relation between angular velocity and the linear velocity. First of all, we need to understand what is angular velocity. Since angular velocity omega is equal to d theta by dt, okay, so now we are going to find out that we have already done. Now we are going to find out the relation between angular acceleration, and this is relation between angular acceleration and linear acceleration. Okay, velocity we have already done, so we are going to find out this. Now we know that angular velocity is given by omega is equal to d theta by dt, right? So angular acceleration is equal to rate of change of angular velocity, and its units are radian per second square. Okay, per second square. Now to find out the relation between angular acceleration and linear acceleration, we know that the relation between linear velocity and linear acceleration, angular velocity is v is equal to r omega. Now differentiating both sides, this is dv by dt is equal to r d omega by dt. Now what is dv by dt? This is the linear acceleration, and r, this is the angular acceleration, that this is alpha. So a is equal to r alpha. This is the relation between linear acceleration and angular acceleration.